Good morning, good morning. Get up, yawn, cough, say your prayers, do anything you gotta do to get the day started. Doc, we at 30, Doc. We at 30.
Number 30.
Third number 30. And guess what, Doc? I always talk about how we started in the private jet. But boy, were you whipped up today. I said, oh man. This is the best today.
Yeah, man. Battery going bad on other cars.
Hey, yo, that's a good excuse, eh?
Yo, nah, right? I was at Acme, man, like a week ago. Right? I came back out of Acme and they started. I had to call AAA. And then it just happened to me yesterday.
Okay.
So I've been holding out. I gotta get a battery though, man.
Right.
Nah, man. Oh man, this morning, man. Another blessed with Craig, man.
Yes.
At 30, right, man. And the journey, continues, man.
Yes.
We got a special one today again, man. We got Taiwanda Terry Wilson running for council at large, man, for the city of Trenton, man. So this is a blessed one, man. I'm gonna let her introduce herself. Let her tell us who she are. Born and raised in Trenton, everything. Give us a little spill about you, and then we'll get into the nitty gritty.
Okay, sure. So as Dante stated, my name is Taiwanda Terry Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
I am a resident of the great city of Trenton. I've been in Trenton my whole entire life.
Mm-hmm.
I am privileged to know these two young men, Dante and Craig. And a little bit about myself is I reside in the East Ward in the great city of Trenton. I have three beautiful children, Brian, Brianna, and Brittany.
Okay.
And I have one grandson, Kevin, and a son-in-law, Kevin Wharton Jr.
Okay.
And so I really care about my community. I really care about health.
Yes.
I really care about our quality of life. And so what better way to effect change but to continue doing what you're doing, put yourself out there, and try to make a difference for everybody that's involved.
Yeah. That's a good way to break it down.
That's definitely a good way to break it down. So what's the big thing of making you run? Like what's the feeling? What's the feeling?
You know what? It's a natural segue. So what makes me run? I've actually been doing this work my entire life. When my children started school, I'm one of those parents that believes you can't just drop your child off in kindergarten and come back in 12th grade.
Yeah.
So naturally, I was always at the schools. I was a part of the PTA. I was a part of the PTO. Everybody in my family is either a pastor or a deaconess. So service was always in my family, right? And so you just we're taught that you make the world a better place, right? You treat people the way you wanted to be treated. And so as my kids got older and began to go to school, I saw a lot of issues, and I just needed to make sure that my children got the education that they deserved. I needed to make sure that every student that was in my children's classroom got the education that they deserve. And then people try to put labels on you. They try to call you advocate. They try to call you this. I'm a concerned parent, a mother, and, but the thing about it is when you see something wrong, you got to try to make a difference. So it just naturally progressed once my children got grown, because you can't save the world and then not save your family first. So once my children got grown, I was always doing the work. I sit on several boards, like the zoning board of adjustments, the county planning, planning board, all these things, and all these titles matter, but it's all about Trenton, and so it just naturally segued to I got the time now.
Okay.
And that's a good thing, because look, Doc, I was coming back from East Orange today, and the craziest thing is I'm listening to the car radio, and the lady was on there talking about how she was involved with all her kids from from kindergarten on up. She said you got to get involved. So same thing you just said. It's like crazy how you just. I was listening to it this morning driving, to here and everything. So that's crazy.
You've been in Trent your whole life, so you experienced mad different phases of Trent. Mad different phases, right? So now the point of where we at now, right? Everybody always speak on the violence, the killing, this and that, right? But how can we address that? What is a plan that you saying that you have coming to the table now to address that outside of what people is already doing that's different?
Sure. So one of the things that I've seen in Trenton, being here my whole entire life, is that we always try to rebuild our city without building the people in it. So I'm here today, number one, because my boy Craig invited you, my family, Dante, you invited me, but health. When you talk about health, health composes physical, it encompasses mental, it encompasses financial health. All of those things play a part. So if I am unhealthy in my body, I'm going to be lethargic. I'm not going to be. You feel different when you work out. Like I know I was on a weight weight travel. I fixed my weight last year. I'm walking in the park and you feel good, right? Yes. But some people also have other issues. When we talk about trauma, when we talk about racism, when we talk about discrimination, when we talk about disenfranchisement of our communities specifically, when we talk about unequal education, those are all a part of our health. So I'm not healthy if I'm a husband and I'm dealing with discrimination in my workplace or police officers pulling me over and giving me a felony assessment while I'm just trying to go to work or whatever. That impacts me because now I have to come back home to my wife. If I was on my way to work, and because we deal with policies and procedures in the workplace, let's talk about it all. That's racist sometimes. We are the first hire and the first fire, so just something that happens to you can impact your whole day. And then now you got to come home and it impacts our family. Because now the family structure. So now you're stressed. I'll come home. I'm dealing with that stress because you're my mate. So it's so many different things, and then our children feed off of us. True. So I am running because, number one, I understand our community. One of my slogans is for, of, and by the people, all the people. And I believe Trenton deserves good government. So to tie that in, we need to make sure that the people that we elect understand us, speak to our voices and speak to our issues, and speak to the collective Trenton, white, black, purple, green, Liberian, Haitian. We're all here. But we all have different issues, but we're all one community.
I agree with that. We definitely all one.
And we definitely are one, man. It's crazy how you said, all this about the health issues, like, from physical health to mental because we need it. We need it, and mental play a big part. Mental health is like how when you in transition to us training, if you're not eating right, it don't make sense. Because we can train you all day. If you're not eating right, you just train just to be training. And just like your mental, if your mental all over the place, you just going through the day. Your 24 hours don't really mean nothing. It means something, but it really don't mean nothing because your mental got to be there too. Sometimes your mental got to catch up with your body.
That's facts.
But that's true. But that's why we always talk about this. And our mental shift from us. This is how we got to where we are today. Mental change, right? So when we bring somebody in here that's actually running for something, we speak on that topic of health, wellness. You broke it down, financial health. You got the mental health. You got every level of health we're talking about here, right? Because it's a disconnect, and we know how younger people is disconnected from that totally because it triggers from our family. You know what I'm saying? So, and then our community, it feeds off negativity. So they is more easy to grab the negative stuff than something positive. So what I'm saying is now, it's a gap, right, that you have out here in the community. Let's say from 18 to 35. This is a major part of the people that we need to be voting because they eligible now, right? To vote, to come out. How you feel you're going to bridge that gap? You have kids, so we know that could probably be a part too, but that 18 to 35 is like the issue that's in our city now because the younger ones is doing more damage than an older person right now in our city. You know what I'm saying? So how would you feel you could bridge that gap? And even to get them to come out and vote or to even register to vote.
And so that's a great question. So what I do is I have 3 children, like I stated. When each of them turn 18 on their birthday, I did a voter registration party. So it starts in our home. So I've got to go back to the basics. So being a parent in PTA, it starts in the home. We got to stop thinking that somebody is coming to save us. We have to each do our part as a family. So you have to tell your children. I have to tell my children. You have to tell your children. And then we have to exhibit. We have to live by example what we want to see. So again, presenting myself as a PTA parent, sitting here being a community advocate, fighting for the high school. I walked out with some students when they had a leaky roof. It was all on Channel 6. So you just have to live by example. You have to make yourself available. You have to be consistent. And if one thing, I think that I'm consistent in anything that I'm talking about, I'm reminding people that, do you see your place here? Do you see your value here? You belong in the city of Trenton. Your civic responsibility is to make sure that you vote and vote for people who understand your issues. Did I answer your question?
To me, I believe in that. But it's me, like the feedback. I understand the kids are gaps, and definitely if they're in the streets already. The kids that's in that streets already is like most people look at it as a lost cause. So
I don't.
I look at it from this turn. You get what I'm saying? But most people who's in the political seat, right, look at the kids, and because they'll say it quick. Everything they talk about is the violence. But if you're not giving us nothing to do, what you want us to do?
And did you ask them where the violence stems from? Did you say what's hurting you? Did you say what's going on? Do you have food? Do you have clothes? So, but those are okay. So you got to throw me like that because it was a good question. But I do that in my regular. Yeah. Like when I'm at Trenton High, I used to be at Trenton High every single time, talking to the kids, asking them if they're okay, making sure that mom and dad know about different programs. Yes. But sometimes mom and dad working 1 and 2 jobs because of that stress we're talking about. And so they're at work, or they may not have a job that gives them the flexibility to take off work and come to that PTA meeting, or maybe when they do, they're tired. So again, we really have to talk about the total picture of the society that we live in to understand what we're doing. So our children have to be exposed to things, and we have great people like Transformative Justice. We have you guys doing what you do. We have Bruce Boy. I'm just thinking of programs. We have my daughter was a part of Top Teens of America with Querying Rooms. So then we have all of these programs, but how do we make sure that people are aware of them and sign them up? You know, so the bottom line is
you hit it right there. That's the part I cut you up, but like the part of getting them, how to get the people to know about these programs. Some parents, you know, we know. Come on, bro. Like, everybody don't have it together as parents right now. You know, some people going through things themselves. It could be financially, it could be mentally, it could be bad relationships, breakups. You know, single family mother in the household trying to raise 2-3 kids at one time. But then how do this parent that don't know about these programs get the information? So how is people who running going to feed more of this information to our community? Because everybody don't go on somebody's website to find it.
Nah, they don't.
You get what I'm saying? So that's what my questions be, because I understand I grew up in that environment. I fell victim to the environment. You get what I'm saying? And from I'm learning so much now because I done grew up mentally, physically, spiritually. You get what I'm saying? So I'm more engaged to wanting to learn or getting around people who can say, yo, this program here or this, that, learning. But now how can you run it? How would you say you able to get that message out of these type of programs or these type of, for even for the young kids, even for adults who need the help?
Right. I think you're looking for a specific answer, which I get. And I don't think I have one for you other than, and I'll tell you why. When I ran for council last time, I ran for city council in the East Ward. I won the general election, the primary election, my committee seat, and I lost the runoff by 5 votes. But when I was knocking door to door, just like I'm doing now, there were people that said, I never saw you before.
There you go.
And I know I've been active for 20 years. And without being flippant, I had to say to you, but I've never seen you either. I've never seen you at a PTA, but it doesn't mean that they weren't, it doesn't mean they weren't engaged. It doesn't mean that they weren't engaged. So and we say the same thing at the PTAs. We always see the same parents, and now that you guys are astute, you see the same people. So I think that when we look for politicians to give us the answer, I think it really comes back to all of us working together. We really, if we can find out where to get our hair done, our nails done, or anything that means something to us, if we seek that out, we have to seek out, people are running for council? Is there a website? Is there a city council meeting? And we know how to do that because it's on our phone. And I think that's the answer. Us resuming
it's
our
a
place.
whole. It's a whole. I personally, I don't look for one person who's gonna run, because nobody who run is gonna change Trenton.
You're a smart man.
It's gonna take the whole Trenton to change Trenton.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about from young to old. You know what I'm saying? If you up to age, you play a part. The 18-year-old play a part in this society. You know what I'm saying? But it's now what they taught. How can somebody older feed them some substance and not the BS? So it's general on a whole. And me, you know, people get out and come in the front. Like you said, you knock on the door, you've been out doing it, but people didn't know you. You're like, I've been doing this for, but imagine how many people just come out when they running. You know what I'm saying? You be like, I never heard of this individual, or I never even saw this person on my corner. When I walk, when I'm standing out here every day, they don't walk by.
Some people I never saw. I'm 46 years old. I never saw. But I think how you get people out now, how this world is ran, it's ran off hot topics.
Hot topics sound like
whatever the hot topic is, that's how the world run. Like now, for the young generation, it's TikTok. You got to do some couple TikTok videos and clowns and do you got to connect. This world don't even run on hot topics. Whatever the hot topic is, it go to hot topic. Back to Kardashians. Hot topics back to Kardashians. I'm saying it go like that. Whatever the hot topic is, then it go right back to them hot topic. So how I think you run, you just got to whatever the hot topic is, because that's how when I first time I ever voted was Barack Obama. Just like I said before. And the hot topic was like Puff and all them doing their little thing. So I was like, bitch, I'm gonna vote. This, and everything. So whatever the world which way the world going, or which way Trenton going. Because since Trenton, you go that route, whatever that route. If it's a positive route, you go that route. And I think right now for the younger generation, it's a lot of doing TikTok, a lot of little dance moves, and they have all those stuff. You got to incorporate yourself with that, and then the younger generation start talking. Then if all my kids in the house talking, they talking about you. I'm like, who that? Then then as a parent, I do some research on you. So now you got the kids and the parents doing research on you. So you got to. I think that's the way I think is approached.
That's the connection. You know, with anybody though, we try to find connections with our kids and things like that. And our kids, tell us a lot of things that I don't know how to work a phone like that.
Tell me about it. I used to have my kids here and there.
But you know how the generation is now. You gotta learn, or you'll get outdated. Like you gotta learn. You be back in some Adidas sneakers or something age. You gotta learn. That's just the way the world ran. You gotta learn. If you don't, it'll force you to learn. You see how your phone get outdated. It's been out there so long. They make you get a new phone. So you gotta hit with the world, man.
I agree with that. So I guess. So I do have a social media page. That's one of the things. Continue to be involved and going door to door. But let me ask you guys a question. Are we doing because it's more than one way to skin a cat, right?
Yeah.
So do we do ourselves and our community a disservice if we only speak to sound bites? And then I'll give you an example. So when we were fighting for the high school, myself, I believe Algernon Ward, a lot of community advocates, my boy Darren Freedom Green came in at the end. We were fighting for a new high school, right? But the core group of us, we had so many different groups. We were called the Save Trenton High Coalition, Better High School Plan for Trenton, because we were doing the research. We had architects. We were doing environmental studies to make sure that the fabric of the neighborhood, because this is the type of stuff that we're doing, right? We're looking at studies and getting statistics from our Department of Education, finding out how many kids we have inside our school and what that projection looks like. So this is the soundbite that you're talking about. So now we have a high school. Our first high school held 3,500 people. The new high school holds 1,500 people. So sometimes when we work off a soundbite, it's just giving people what they want without research. So I agree with what you're saying. We got to touch our children, but what must we also ensure that we are teaching them how to really go out? Not listen to 30-second sound bites, because you might get something that sounds good and looks good and feels good. But right now we're going through a redistricting of our schools, right? This year, it started. Kids are all over the map.
All over.
But those same kids that are in kindergarten through 9th grade, when they get into 10th grade, it's still going to be at the same time, those same 10th graders going into a high school that only holds how many students. You see what I'm saying? So we have an influx now. We're going to have an influx in 10 years. So I think that the responsibility and civic responsibility is to, number one, be a parent. Talk to your children. Create the type of relationship and foster the environment you want. Okay, you got to go to school, so you can go to school to learn, to get involved in one of these trades or go to college, right? Then when you turn 18, I need you to piggyback on what you see me doing. I need you to register to vote. And then I need you to vote for people who don't just look good and sound good, but are they looking and researching to make sure that our community reflects all of our values. Policing, right? Discrimination in policing, bias, right? Education, right? Quality of life, livable wages, right? Felony assessments that prevent me from getting a job, such as a firefighter or correctional, because these all. And then we go back to mental health. So if I'm stressed, I'm about to smoke me a cigarette. I'm about to come home and put my head down because my boss got on my. So we gotta rebuild the people first, so that they can even have this conversation. Because if my lights are cut off,
you ain't trying to.
Who tied? I can't even see because the lights are on. Or if I'm hungry, or if my husband or my child. How did I forget it? If my child just got killed, because we're dealing with gun violence. I talk so fast. I get excited when I'm rolling.
Go ahead.
You good.
I have been endorsed by Moms Demand Action, Gun Sense for America. So I'm the candidate that talks about our issues. Because if Trentonians aren't healthy, this whole city is not healthy.
I agree with all that. And it starts at home, but a lot of times, home is already dysfunctional. So sometimes the kids have to go through a different battle to even break that. And then you got some homes that's great, right? But when that kid walk out that door and he on a block where there's only 4 houses up now, how did that mess with his mental now?
Yeah, you're
You
right.
know what I'm saying? Now, do he feel he worth something? Do she feel she worth something? This is the main issues that I be trying to tell people. And I'm not saying whoever going to make it, going to say they're going to change this right away. But I'm saying as a whole, because if kids walk out the house right now and they see 4 houses on their block and they still see somebody probably getting high in the corner, but they're doing this to walk to school.
Yes.
And that's one of the things we talked about. Yeah.
So everything you're addressing is perfect, is good, but like that's what said. That's said, but it takes a whole. But it takes for people to realize, and we got to reach everybody. So you got to reach the broken family. You got to reach the mom and dad from that broken family. If they're together, you got to reach the single mom who's struggling at all-time high, who mental have not even elevated and grown on a conscious level to do something different. She like to party, she like to drink, she like to smoke because she's chasing something. She's trying to relieve herself from something. You got the male, female running the streets. He the dad, he ripping, running, he in the streets, he in a gang or whatever, he's selling drugs, he whatever. He's chasing, he running away from something. So the bridge, all this, you got to connect everywhere. And I tell a person, yes, gun violence, heavy. People run, they say crime, heavy. It's always going to be crime in these cities though. That's never gonna go no way. So what a person we trying to address, and for people who running, that I like to always hear, and you talking great things, right? Is that how can we forget that part? Crime gonna happen, man. JoJo gonna get caught with cocaine on him, man.
Yes.
Bill gonna get caught with the heroin up the street, man. We talking about the 14-year-old carrying a gun who just shot somebody. These are the issues we need to try to address. Mainly and focus on them because these is the babies. You get what I'm saying? So when JoJo get caught with the coke, let him go ahead to jail, man. He been doing that. He 40. He been going back and forth to jail so many times. We ain't worrying about JoJo right now. We talking about this little boy who about to go to school with this gun on him. How can
drugs.
we? You know what I'm saying? How can we get to them? It's special because everybody gonna say gun violence. But now, how can we really address the core? So the core got to be creating programs, like you said, that's out there. Education. A lot of these kids is uneducated. You got a 9th grader who probably only can read on the 2nd grade level right now. He's scared to go to school and read in front of his peers. They're gonna laugh at him. They're gonna videotape him.
He's gonna get kicked out of the class.
I agree with what you're saying. I think just collective as a whole, I don't care who getting there, they need to be a part of the whole and actually asking people and figuring out, because they got the agenda, right? So, but if you ask me something, I'm not saying mine might be the way, but you probably can take a piece of what I'm saying and put it into yours. Ask you, take a piece, put it into yours. And now we talking about the greater trend.
Yes.
Is how I feel, you know? So, but I think everything you hitting and touch on is important. It's great.
Most important.
You know, and we need young, vibrant people running. We need people who look healthy, I think we need in the seats, who don't look overweight, they out of shape, they can't breathe when they getting up, they can't walk 5 miles to knock on people's doors. You know what I'm saying? So we need a young, vibrant group of people. And we know, woman, you're a mother, so I like it seeing you run anyway as a mother, because you know the mother feeling, mothers care, genuinely. You know what I'm saying? They care. So they don't gotta know you, and they gonna care. So that's the type of people we need in the seat. We need someone who's like a mother figure. Definitely if it's a woman. If it's a guy, we need the father figure. Don't just judge me because I'm on the corner, but like an expert. So now let's talk about like the property taxes you speak on, and let's get into that a little bit. How are you saying? Because Trent, you know, property taxes is sky high in Trent. So how you think? Do we know them bigger issues though?
No, those are absolutely. You want to see a trick when we bring all of this in? Everything we just talked about is actually politics.
There you go.
Because guess what? The way we say that in is, as an elected official, as your next at-large city council person, I get to create ordinances that directly talk about loitering on a corner. That talks about, I can help, because the mayor will appoint the school board president, right? So city council doesn't directly do that, but who we elect, the mayor, whose type of mindset, what type of people are going to make up the council body that are going to talk about these issues, because those are quality of life issues. You're talking about economic development when you talked about the houses that are abandoned that people are walking to. So that's politics. So see, my husband used to always say to me, and we're separated now, he used to always say to me, you know, you can't fix the world, but you can fix the world, or he doesn't like politics. No offense, love him, you know. You are living politics. Politics is the things that affect you in your home. That building that's closed down or that abandoned house, if there is disinvestment in our city, that house is going to stay not repaired.
Yes.
And that's going to become a slum.
Yes.
If we're talking about people who don't make enough money and they're going to work, working hard, and because the rent is too high or the mortgage is too high, I got to make a choice. Do I feed my family or do I fix that window? Do I cut the grass? Do I paint the house? These are all economic development, right?
True.
So I am going to be that council person. When you elect me, we need to, number one, change our image. And you guys are doing a fine job.
Yes.
Our young men who are a part of our community, getting healthy, right? Physically, mentally. The street teams are out on our corners. Our young men, that means our families are being rebuilt, protecting us, watching our children, all of our children as they go back and forth to school. That's the mental health, but that's also changing the attitudes.
Yes.
Because now the kids are going to feel safer.
Another problem I got too, they, like for me being a Trenton resident, they make it harder for me to invest in Trenton than somebody to come from the outside. You get all these Jews and stuff. Yes. They can invest in Trenton fast. I go down City Hall, I gotta go through my jail record, see if I got credit score and all. And these people come from nowhere, they don't pay no taxes, no nothing. They buy everything up. Is there any way you could something could get done about that? Because it's harder for me, and I've been here all my life. I can't even buy ice cream at the store without me.
And you know, and this is what we're talking about. We're talking about racism and discrimination, right? So those type of laws that govern real estate, those are state laws. But your elected officials, your assembly persons, your state senators, those are the people that can change those laws. But your voice matters. As an elected official on city council, when I become the next council, one of the next council at large, because there are 3 people that you can vote for. Yes. What type? I used to sit on the zoning board. When I sat on the zoning board, that means before you can come into our community to build a shoebox, I have to ask you some questions, me and a panel of people. And I used to have to, and we had a lot of people that came before us. Do you live in this neighborhood? Are you going to live inside this property? Because, you know, when we give you this property and or we allow you to make it some type of business, are you going to respect the fabric of the neighborhood? You know, so those are the questions that we ask. But directly as a city council person, that comes in economic development. When you come before this council in the city of Trenton, you will understand that I value the residents. I value what you just said to me. I know that that's a fact because I'm a black woman, right? I understand racism. I understand redlining. That is how we got here, where people have a image of us and they perpetuate this stereotype and it's not true. And then people who don't know us believe that. And then they say, I'm not going to go to Trenton, or if I'm a contractor, I don't want to invest in Trenton because I might get hurt. Those are fallacies. Those are not true. And so now we're stuck with trying to rebrand ourselves, and here you are trying to buy a house and you're being denied. Those things can't stand, but you need elected officials who understand that. They're going to say, slow your roll, because we want everybody here. We want our Latinos, we want our Caucasians, we want our Haitians, our Liberians, but that also includes us. We can't rebuild our city without us.
True. Listen, man, this was a great one. We got to get ready to wrap up. Listen,
I'm sorry.
This was not. You didn't. You ain't do nothing. You ain't do nothing wrong. I wanted you to keep going. I wish we could let you talk for about an hour. No, because you really get to hear people, and you really get to hear the genuines in people's voices. You get what I'm saying? I've been on both sides of the field, so I know bullshit. You get what I'm saying? I've been in the streets with the get-overs, and I've been on this side now, and I've been learning so much. So you could tell when a person's running game, or I've been running so much game out here, been trying to do right, man. It's a shame. But, hey, it's part of this life, man. You know what I mean? But you start learning about the political part of this. You get what I'm saying? And you start learning how you got to still play a part of this. Because this is, like you said, this affects our life. Daily.
I know.
You know?
Just not to cut you off. I know it. Now I know we mean a lot to the town. Because me just getting up 5 o'clock posting every morning, people be like looking for that. They energy, they ain't even working out with me. They just like, Craig, I see you, thank you for posting. And you might just put get motivated. They some people need, but know what I think? A lot of people need a hug.
Nah, man.
Just a hug, man. A hug will take you so far, you know. It could go just a genuine hug or something like that and everything, because you motivate people in all type of ways you never know, man.
Definitely, man. But you know, like we said, you know, man, it's a blessing. I don't know, lost for. I just want to see how it go, because this. I think this is a great year for Trenton, though, for the people that's running. It's some great candidates that's running all across the board. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna see how that turns. But it's just, man, I want to say, just keep doing what you're doing, man.
You.
Love and appreciate it. We be seeing you on the book all the time. Like I see you through the books. You get what I'm saying? I don't see you. So that's
I know you about 30 years.
But that's what I'm saying. But it just seeing you and the works you have been doing and stuff like that, is amazing, and someone who cares. So I just want to applaud you for that, and just no matter what way this goes, you feel what I'm saying? I know you're still gonna do great things, out here. So I just wish you the best on this journey right here.
Thank you,
wish God bless you. How He gonna bless you. Everything is for God. So when it happens, because God wanted it to happen at that time. So I just want to tell you that from me personally.
Okay. My personal thing is to say, just try not to overthink it, man. Just keep being you, because the more you overthink it, then you start doing all type of stuff. You start listening to what people say. Just go your route, man. Your route is never wrong, man. How this world ran now, ain't nothing wrong.
Yeah.
I could make a video tying my shoe and be a millionaire. So you can't go wrong no more. Like, as long as you ain't doing nothing that commit a crime and, pedophile and all that stuff. But like, you can't go wrong, man. Just go where your heart take you at.
Right.
And your heart, you sitting here now, I might be 5-10 years down the line, I'll be like, damn, she president. President of the free world. You never know. Like, it's unlimited. So just go the way you go, man. I love everything you doing. I love you as a person, man. I've been with you through thick, through thin. You see me when I went to jail, came back home, we tried to straighten it out and everything. Just stay focused, man, and family first.
There you go.
Family first.
You can let us know where they can reach you at. What number you is on the ballot for the people. You can let them know.
Yes.
Let them know.
So you can reach me at my Facebook page, Tide for Council. You can also reach me. Let's see. I have so many.
Whichever, give it to them. Whatever.
I want to give you my
down.
personal email address, TyWilson73@yahoo.com. TyForCouncil@gmail.com, and just look for me. I'll be knocking on your doors. I knocked on every single door in the East Ward when I ran. I'm hitting the pavement daily. I'm taking off my heels and my suit when I come. Not even my suit. I'm just taking off my heels and putting on my sneakers every day at 4, and I'm walking into your block. But I want to leave you guys with this, and this is a personal thing. It's going to be two things. The very first thing is, I like when you said stay true to yourself. So that was a confirmation, and I've never intended to change that. But what I can say is when I'm on social media, like you say, you see my posts, I've had people tell me, tone it down. Nope, after January 6th, and even the way I was born, I'm going to talk about our issues, because there's nothing, if I can support LGBTQ, if I can support women's rights, if I can fight for health care for union workers, because I'm a 20-year union, CWA 1033, so if I could fight for everybody, you can't tell me I can't fight for me and my community. So I've been told to water me down or you won't win. If I got to water me down, I don't want to win, because I'm fighting for you. I'm fighting for our community. And I'm not fighting to leave anyone out. I am fighting to make sure that none of us are left out, and that includes black people. So this is a community that is very diverse.
Yes.
And I support every single community member. But we have to talk about the health issues that impact those of us in our community who are traumatized and are giving us the gun violence, the fighting, and so on and so forth. So thank you for that. And I love you guys back.
Thank you. Appreciate you coming on, man. So we're gonna wrap up. Yo, don't forget, man, check out, Craig gonna have, the awesome, end and finish your workouts for y'all, man. Make sure y'all check it out on your YouTube. Make sure y'all check Instagram out too, man. How Fitness Changed Our Lives, man. Subscribe to that YouTube page, man. So we're gonna leave y'all with this, man. Listen, keep going, man. Don't give up. Whatever you fighting, whatever you going through, man, God got you, man. Just believe and keep going, man. Don't give up. Each day get greater. As long as you're above that ground, man, you have the opportunity to change your life, man. So we're gonna leave y'all with that. Peace.